Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching Just Upright. My name is Gina Lynn Ruder. I go by Jing, like Jingle Bells. I'm a licensed physical therapist practicing here in Missouri, USA. So I would like to thank everyone who have, been supportive about my previous videos on how to apply, how to become a licensed physical therapist here in the United States. Uh, and there are subscribers. Yay! Thank you so much for supporting the channel and for sharing the videos. So for all those who are watching just now, I had like a 9-year journey before I'm finally able to go here to the US and practice as a licensed physical therapist. It was a long ordeal. I was lost in the process. No one was actually guiding me. It was like a self learning journey along the way. I spent a lot of money because documents expire and I was still in the Philippines and I didn't have the working visa yet. So you can watch my other video in this channel, Just Upright, about my 9 long year journey to coming here to the US to practice as physical therapist. So that is the main reason why I'm making series of videos in order to shed some light or guidance to other foreign trained physical therapists in different parts of the world who wants to come here and practice as physical therapists in the United States of America. Many Americans are not aware that if you're foreign trained, it really costs a lot of money, blood, sweat, and tears before we can finally come here to the US and practice, before we can actually get our license and get the visa and practice as a physical therapist in the US. So I hope that you would share this video to whoever you think will benefit from it. So today I'm going to discuss like the general overview of the requirements per state. Okay, so I'm gonna walk you through it. So this is my computer screen. So if you Google, physical therapy requirements by state, and then you click on this first one. By the way, you have to check always for updates. So today is September 7, 2020. So it depends when you watch this video, there might be updates on a specific state requirements, changes. So you always have to check for update of the requirements. Okay, so I'm just making this video currently to guide you where to go and what are the general requirements as of right now. But again, it may change, it might be updated. So always do due diligence to see what are the current requirements by the time of your application. So if you click that, it will take you here to the FSBPT, Federation of State Boards of Physical Therapy website, and the title is Licensure Reference Guide, compare jurisdictions. So this is just a general overview. It will not list the specific requirements per state. So one thing that I observed when I was applying is that when you look at different states, they have different requirements. So it seems like when it comes to requirements for physical therapists, they are not United States of America. They don't have one single requirement. So each state is unique and they have different requirements. So we're gonna see an overview of that. So when you come here, so there's an initial licensure for PT, PTAs, you have to go down here, foreign educated PTs and PTAs, okay? So, and then let's go click requirements for initial licensure. So it will take you to this table. As you can see, this is like just a general reference, not specific. Okay, so educational credential review. So this is what we call credentialing, meaning they're going to compare your curriculum to the current requirement of the US. If you can, if you have enough curriculum. So again, when it comes to credentialing review, the most common is FCCPT, and then another one is CGFNS. But if you go to your specific state, go to their website, and you will see what organization, credentialing organization, they want you to go through. Okay, you cannot just choose any credentialing organization that you want. You have to always go to the website of the state that you want to practice and get a list of the requirements that they want you to have to complete in order for them to give you the eligibility to test or to take the examination. So of course, once all the requirements are submitted to the state, then you have to take the exam. So pass the National Physical Therapy exam. There are states requiring test of English as foreign language before you can take the exam. Some of them don't require you to have the TOEFL before you can take the exam. So this is what it means. Okay, supervised clinical practice. You can see Alaska, Arizona, here California. They have clinical practice, supervised clinical practice. So before, that simply means that before you can actually work, you have like an internship, and it depends on the state how many hours. So as some therapists that I know do not start practicing in California simply because they require specific like internship program before you can actually work for initial licensure. So some of my colleagues actually will work in other state, and when you have enough work experience and then you transition to California, that is what do you call that? Licensure by endorsement, meaning you already have a license as a physical therapist from another state and you want to practice in California. So that is endorsement of your license from one state to another. And it is different from initial licensure. Initial licensure meaning you don't have any license yet and you're applying for the first time to have a license. So physical therapists who have been working here and they want to transfer to California can just endorse their license. Of course, there are fees and requirements involved, but I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, that the supervised clinical practice is required for endorsement. So this is for initial licensure. Jurisprudence assessment, meaning they have law examination, jurisprudence examination, so meaning the ethics, the rules, the practice act as a physical therapist, when it comes to like negligence, malpractice, etc., ethics. So these are examination about the clinical practice or practice act of a physical therapist. So as you can see, this first few states here, they have jurisprudence exam or assessment. So it's a separate test from the National Physical Therapy Examination. Okay, criminal background check. So Arizona, California, they do a criminal background check. Some states require professional liability insurance, proof of meeting requirements to practice in country of education with good standing with licensing authority, like Arizona requires that you are licensed from the country you took your degree from. Proof of legal authorization to reside or work in the US? Yes. So Arizona. So these are, and others, they did not specify what are the other requirements. So these are the general, overview of the requirements of each state for initial licensure. So for example, you want, let's see about Florida. So Florida, they require the credentialing, okay? They require for you to pass the NPTE. TOEFL is no. Jurisprudence, it has jurisprudence, it has no internship, no criminal background, professional liabilities, no. There have other requirements here, yes. So do not be confused. It means here, Florida, no. For TOEFL, test of English as foreign, test of English language proficiency, or test of English as foreign language, the TOEFL. The state might not require that before you get your license, but if you do not have the immigrant visa yet, or a working visa, the requirement of the immigration, United States immigration, is for each person applying to be a licensed physical therapist here in the US, and you are foreign trained and you don't have any working or immigrant visa yet, they require the healthcare certificate. Okay, so let me be very clear about this. The requirements that we are looking at for initial licensure are the requirements per state that they need for you to complete. And once you have all these requirements completed, all fees paid, you don't have any deficit with the required documents, they gather it, they verify that they are authentic and whatnot, they can release your license. Okay, so these are the requirements per state in order for them to release your license. But you have to remember, even though you have the license, if you don't have the visa, either working or immigrant visa, you cannot go here to the US and use your license to practice. So that is when the healthcare worker certificate is needed. And the healthcare worker certificate is required not by the state, but by the immigration, okay, the United States immigration. So here, so if you type in Google, USCIS, Healthcare Worker Certificate, and click this first link, so it will take you to the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. So that is what USCIS stands for. So here it says Healthcare Worker Certification. The definition is aliens, foreigners, seeking admission as a non-immigrant or immigrant, primarily to perform labor as a healthcare worker other than as a physician, are not admissible to the United States unless they present certification from a USCIS approved credentialing organization, and those organizations are FCCPT and CGFNS, verifying that they have met minimum requirements for education, that is for credentialing, training, licensure. It can be licensed from where you get your education, what country, experience, and look at this, English proficiency in their field. So even if your state was not requiring you to pass TOEFL to get your license, you cannot get away with the requirement coming from the immigration. So part of the requirements of the USCIS is for you to pass the English proficiency examination. Okay, so specifically, the certification verifies the alien has education, training, licensing, and experience that are comparable with that required of an American healthcare worker of the same type, authentic, and in the case of a license, unencumbered, and meet all the applicable statutory and regulatory requirements for admission into the United States. So this is where the credentialing will come in. And then the necessary level of competence in oral and written English as shown by the passage of one or more nationally recognized, commercially available, standardized tests of aliens' ability to speak and write. So for physical therapists, it's TOEFL, Test of English as Foreign Language. Okay, so, and pass either predictor tests or occupations actual licensing certification examination, or the NPTE. Okay, so that is basically the difference. Okay, so as if we go back here, and it's the general overview again, these requirements are requirements by your state, and once you satisfy all these requirements, you have education credentialing, you pass the NPTE. For Delaware, for example, they don't require you to pass the TOEFL before they can release your license. They can do a criminal background check. So if you suffice those three requirements, they will be able to release your license. But again, the next step is for you to have a visa, and you have to go through the requirements of the United States immigration, and part of that requirement is to pass the English examination so that they can see that you are proficient, you can speak and write in English. So again, go to the website of the state that you're practicing. If you are an American citizen or already have an immigrant visa, you may be exempted from taking the TOEFL examination, because if you're an immigrant visa, you have an immigrant visa, you're already here, and or you can go here to the US. Okay, so these are for people without working visa, without an immigrant visa, like literally starting from the scratch. You're a foreigner, and you don't have a working visa yet, you don't have an immigrant visa yet, so you have to abide and suffice all the requirements of the state for you to get your license, and of the immigration office for you to get your visa. So I hope that makes sense. So if you have any other questions, clarifications, just let me know, okay? Thank you so much for watching, and remember to hit the subscribe button below. It is for free for the latest video updates. Thank you for your support, and stay blessed.